From the guy who butchered Resident Evil comes the story of a town that was butchered by a volcano. I think there's method to the madness. If you look at it, the pairing makes sense. Pompeii. So Pompeii is the story of a town, Pompeii. Pompeii was, it was Roman times and shit. And a volcano went off and just eradicated Pompeii. It's pretty much Roman Atlantis with a volcano. Pretty much it. And like the shitty movie Pearl Harbor, the act itself that we paid popcorn money to see only lasts a little bit. So you gotta fill in everything that happens before the disastrous event with the big forced romance that you just don't care about. In which case we have Jon Snow from Game of Thrones. His entire family was wiped out by Kiefer Sutherland, who plays the dick in this movie, and then he kind of falls for Baby Doll from Sucker Punch. Disclaimer. Those are not their real names, except for Kiefer. Jon Snow's a gladiator, he's lower class, and he's fallen for this girl who's upper class, and then disaster strikes, and they gotta hope to survive it. It's pretty much like that one movie in which you have the guy who's lower class, he falls for the girl who's upper class, and disaster strikes, and then they gotta hope to survive it. Difference is, Pompeii is done by a director who's not as good as James Cameron. Look, when the shit was going down, that was all fine and dandy. Volcano goes off, and you're like, yeah, fireballs and death! There are cool scenes within the movie. The tsunami scene was hands down the best scene in the movie. That was cool, the volcanic stuff, cool. The problem is the characters before that, we're supposed to care about them, and you don't. Our main character is this strong, brooding gladiator type. He doesn't say much. He's a man of very few words. Which is a very good support character, but when the main character's that, you don't care as much about him. You're like, I'm not attached to you, dude. I hope you get killed and swallowed by the volcano. And your little girlfriend, too. The best character in this movie, the one I actually did care about, hands down, was... I'm gonna call him Mr. Echo from Lost, because his name is that, and I can't pronounce that. That's very tough. People have a hard time pronouncing Johns properly. Yeah, it's Johns, it's not Jans. If you've ever pronounced my name improperly, imagine pronouncing... He's Mr. Echo from Lost. And he was awesome, I liked him, he was this big brute, but he had honor. He and Jon Snow become friends to like... brother. But the rest of the movie, I mean, come on. A gladiator out for revenge because of this dick who killed his family. Two lovers who aren't actually lovers because they've known each other for about 10 minutes in the movie. Seriously, in terms of FaceTime, they don't have much more than 10 minutes together. They gotta survive disaster. We've seen all the elements in this movie before, and we've seen it done better. Because initially I saw a trailer to Pompeii, I was like, oh, holy shit, the story of Pompeii, that's awesome. Then I was like, wait a minute. If you look at it, it's just a disaster movie. That's all it is. Which, granted, again, Titanic is a disaster movie, but again, it had character, and you see the slow swell of chaos and just survival instinct that starts overtaking the entire crew of the ship. That was cool. In this one, the act is, it's a volcano. Not a slow sinking ship, it's all credits. Yeah, a volcano goes, and then mankind kind of knows where they stand in this town. So some of the disastrous shit in Pompeii was pretty cool in that guilty pleasure kind of way, like in that 2012 kind of way, where you're like, yeah, I mean, that was entertaining to watch, but am I gonna go out of my way to watch it? No. In the end, I will say Pompeii is probably a fun time. If you're drunk. Yeah, now it's a party. Holy shit, let the boring part end already. Oh my god, the volcano went off, awesome. I feel bad because when I say a movie's a good time if you're drunk, that by implication means if you guys do listen to me, if you're of age and responsible, of course, you have a designated driver who is watching this movie sober. So to the designated drivers out there, I salute you. Thank you for keeping your friends safe. I owe you one. First of Pompeii, have you seen it? What did you think about it? Whatever you thought, comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, click right here to see more.